Hey friends, hope you're good, hope you're great, hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful morning, day, evening, night, all that good stuff. I am still in Vietnam and I was thinking about more of Vietnam and their journey and you know, the word entitlement really came up strong this morning when I was meditating. And you know, Vietnam in particular, you know, they're not really accustomed to fucking putting shit in a bin with wastage. You know, they just chuck shit anywhere. You know, in fact, one of the islands that we went to, you know, they were telling us how the fishermen would just chuck shit in the sea, right? Because basically they had no idea, and they've only recently, in the 4 to 5 years, basically been taught that, you know, you can't put shit in the sea because this is where you fish, this is where your income's coming from, so you're basically damaging where where your goods are coming from, so it's not going to be long standing. And so now they've got these boats that come out and collect the rubbish, and you know, I mean, there's still a fair bit of rubbish, but you know, to be honest, Vietnam's like, people just don't think about it. They chuck shit bottles away, they don't put it in a bin. And it's a bit like meat, right? Like they have the most inhumane things. Like, you know, to Vietnam's, you know, cause, you know, they've come from a pretty stark background, you know, and after the war there was a famine, like they had no food, so hence they started to eat dogs and cats. So that wasn't great. And, you know, I was talking to some young Vietnamese chicks and they were like, oh, young people don't want to do that anymore. But at the same time, you know, they have, you know, the other day I saw a fucking turtle. I'm not lying. A turtle on the side of the road, like just on top of this thing, ready to be sold. Like crazy, right? Crazy. And this guy was just waiting, you know, and this is the culture. You know, this is the culture. They don't really think about the animal. You know, it's a sense of entitlement. You know, they just think that they just can take, and they can just dump, and it's fucking a-okay. But then I go to a Western culture and I go, and this word came to me this morning, which has been used, but I never use it. It's reciprocity, which is a state of giving and taking, right? Receiving and giving, right? And I had this thought about how it works in your life, right? So let's say, for example, you're having lamb for dinner, right? And so if you look at and reciprocity is a state of, is a level of consciousness, I guess is what I want to say. It's a level of consciousness of how we are much more than just our entitled selves. That we are ultimately connected to a fucking cosmic system that is absolutely phenomenal and absolutely working in your power. However, it's not just about you being, well, obviously you being you is amazing, obviously, but if we go deeper into that, it's about understanding that we are part of a greater source of life. And if we think about reciprocity and you're having lamb for dinner, so you're receiving at that point, you understand that you've received really amazing food and an animal has been sacrificed. What are you giving in return of that? What's your give factor? Because the thing is, if we just keep receiving and receiving and receiving, do you think you are in coherence with Mother Earth? Do you think you're in coherence with your heart? Do you think you're in coherence with the synchronicities of life and how you can ultimately have all your desires met? You know, it's such a complex thing, but at the same time it's actually really simple, because once we start to understand that it's not just about a sense of entitlement, that there is an actual give and take. There's a receiving and giving. There's a receiving and giving. And once you start becoming aware that, you know, and making decisions, because like I said yesterday, it's not like I believe that everyone can be plant-based. You know, I don't believe that's possible, although that would just fulfill my greatest fantasies. I honestly believe that what I want to do is just raise the level of consciousness with what is actually taking place in your life as to how and what is being sacrificed for you to enjoy these things that we have in our life, you know. Like, you know, going to the fact of, are you using recycled toilet paper? You know, what chemicals are you using in your fucking household? Like, are you using really bad shit? Like, honestly, not great for you, not great for the planet, not great for anyone. What are you giving? What are you giving as a state of reciprocity in lieu of understanding that we are much more than just our entitled selves? We are much more than just our entitled selves. We are much more than just our entitled selves. And our ego will be very quick to dismiss anything that ultimately makes us feel that we have to go without, or makes us feel bad. Now, ultimately, that is the ego, okay? Because you're never going to have to go without. It's a change of perception and perspective. You know, I learned from a really great person, Kurt, actually, that, you know, the power of energy is absolutely fucking phenomenal. Now, I don't think everyone is absolutely going to accept this or even totally understand it, but with your food, if you wanted to, with a change of perspective, you could provide light to your food before you eat it. So basically, if you get your food right and you sit it on the table and you were just to sit with it for a bit and you allow the light to come through, you allow the light to come through and you go, all this food that is necessary for me, I will achieve all the nutrients and benefits that my body requires. Like, if you allow intentions into your food, you will be provided with all the nutrient-based elements to sustain a healthy life. Now, the reason why I say that, and it's a very obviously stark, you know, the level of ability to comprehend that this is possible is obviously, you know, for some quite far-fetched. However, why I'm mentioning it is because it is ultimately the fucking truth, and two, the perception that we need something to fulfill our body's desires. Now, what I'm saying to that is that there is no reason whatsoever why you could not have vegetarian food 4 days a week, vegan 2 days a week, right? There's no reason. You can still get all your supplements, you can get all your food take, you can have all the goodness that you desire. Now, I know that's highly unlikely that I feel like it will be highly unlikely that a lot of people will consider that as a fair cause. But what I'm saying is it's about the perception. It's about the perception. You know, I could go into, I'm an O blood type. O blood types basically mean that I should be fucking hunking down. We're the oldest blood type, right? So it means that I should be eating meat, you know? My body responds really fucking well for veggies. Now, it's probably my mindset. I've decided that it fills me up. Like, it fills me up. And it's amazing what the mind does. Like, it's amazing. I'm sure that if I fucking wanted to and I ate chicken because it fucking tastes so good, it would be amazing because I would just love it. But the thing is, I've decided for the greater good of the animals and the way they're treated that animals will be my source. Vegetables will be my source of nutrients, and my body responds really well to that. Now, I'm not saying that everyone is like that, but I'm just putting it out there. that in a state of reciprocity, that you could, because giving would also be, potentially not having meat, not having meat a couple of days a week, 3 days a week. This is raising the state of consciousness, it's understanding the level of reciprocity. If I say that word one more time, I might actually fuck it up for the next time. So I'm not going to say it again, but I hope something's landed here. Because, only ever good shit comes from raising your level of consciousness. Only ever good shit comes from raising your level of consciousness. That's what I'm going to end it. Have a great day, legends.